There are relationships that are easy to define, and others that remain quietly unresolved. The connection between Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning belongs firmly to the latter. Over the years, their interactions have consistently drawn attention, not because of public declarations or dramatic gestures, but because of an unusual sense of closeness that never crosses a visible line. They appear more than friends, yet stop short of anything that could be clearly called romance. This in-between space has left audiences uncertain but deeply curious. Is it long-standing familiarity, emotional alignment, or simply a bond that resists labels? In this video, we explore why their relationship feels difficult to explain and why that ambiguity continues to resonate. What makes the relationship between Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning particularly difficult to define is the way it consistently resists clear categorization. They do not present themselves as a couple, nor do they distance themselves in a way that suggests formality or detachment. Instead, their interactions occupy a space in between, familiar, comfortable, yet carefully restrained. There are no public confirmations, no statements meant to guide interpretation, and no visible effort to shape a narrative. At the same time, there is also no avoidance. They appear at ease in each other's presence, without the tension or self-consciousness often seen between colleagues. This balance creates ambiguity. It is neither the clarity of friendship nor the openness of romance. For many viewers, it is precisely this unresolved quality that makes their connection compelling, a relationship defined more by behavior than by labels. As attention turns to their on-site behavior, certain patterns appear to extend beyond what is typically associated with casual friendship. These moments are not defined by overt gestures, but by timing, instinct, and consistency. Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning are often seen responding to one another without verbal exchange, as if accustomed to anticipating each other's needs. Whether it is a subtle adjustment of space, a brief glance that signals awareness, or a reaction that occurs before conscious thought, these interactions suggest familiarity built over time. Importantly, such behavior does not emerge in isolated instances. It appears repeatedly across different settings, reinforcing the impression of ease rather than coincidence. At the same time, these expressions remain restrained. There is no attempt to display intimacy publicly, nor to invite interpretation. This balance between closeness and control is what distinguishes their dynamic. It is not defined by labels, but by behavior that feels quietly attentive, placing it somewhere beyond friendship, yet not openly romantic. Despite these moments that seem to extend beyond friendship, there are also clear reasons why the relationship cannot be easily defined as romantic. Most notably, Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning have never publicly acknowledged a personal relationship, nor have they taken steps to frame their connection in that direction. Their interactions, while warm and attentive, remain carefully measured in public spaces. There is no visible exclusivity, no attempt to signal ownership, and no behavior that suggests a desire to shift public perception. Instead, both maintain a professional composure that respects boundaries, even in moments of closeness. This restraint is significant. In the entertainment industry, where narratives are often shaped quickly and visibly, silence can be as deliberate as declaration. Choosing not to define a relationship publicly may reflect intention rather than absence of feeling. As a result, what audiences observe is not a conventional love story, but a connection that remains intentionally undefined, close, consistent, yet held at a distance that resists clear interpretation. The phrase "more than friendship, less than love" is often used casually, but in this case, it captures something more nuanced. For Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning, this in-between space appears to be defined by emotional familiarity rather than romantic declaration. Their interactions suggest trust, comfort, and a shared rhythm developed over time. They respond to each other naturally, without hesitation or explanation, yet they do not cross boundaries that would invite public labeling. This balance indicates a relationship sustained not by titles, but by mutual understanding. In the entertainment industry, where relationships are often clarified quickly, either confirmed or denied, maintaining such ambiguity requires intention. It allows both individuals to preserve personal boundaries while continuing a connection that feels meaningful. This space between friendship and love is not empty. It is filled with consistency, attentiveness, and restraint. For many viewers, it represents a form of closeness that does not demand definition, existing quietly without the need for resolution. Audiences are often more perceptive than they are given credit for. In public appearances, viewers may not analyze every detail consciously, but they respond strongly to authenticity. What resonates in the interactions between Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning is not a single defining moment, but a consistent emotional tone. Human attention is naturally drawn to unguarded behavior, subtle shifts in posture, instinctive reactions, and moments that occur before self-awareness takes over. These are cues that are difficult to rehearse and even harder to replicate. Over time, repeated exposure to such details allows audiences to sense patterns rather than isolated incidents. In this case, viewers are not responding to speculation, but to familiarity that feels lived in. The comfort displayed does not demand explanation, it simply registers. This is why many audiences describe their connection as something they can feel rather than prove. It is an impression formed through observation, shaped by consistency, and reinforced by the absence of performance. The reaction to Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning's dynamic has been notably restrained, particularly among long-term fans and neutral viewers. Rather than pushing for definitions, many have chosen to accept the ambiguity as part of what makes the connection compelling. Online discussions often focus less on speculation and more on the overall feeling conveyed, calm, natural, and unforced. Fans who have followed both actors for years tend to emphasize respect for personal boundaries, expressing appreciation without demanding clarity. Meanwhile, neutral viewers frequently describe the interactions as comfortable or easy to watch, without attaching expectations. This rare alignment between fan communities and casual audiences is significant. It suggests that the relationship, whatever its nature, resonates not because it promises answers, but because it allows space for interpretation, a quality increasingly valued by global audiences. Taken as a whole, the relationship between Zhao Lusi and Liu Yuning remains deliberately undefined. It does not present a clear narrative, nor does it offer a conclusion that can be easily accepted. Instead, it exists through moments, consistent, restrained, and quietly meaningful. What audiences are left with is not an answer, but a feeling. A sense that this connection is real in its own way, yet intentionally kept within boundaries. Whether it is a deep friendship, an unspoken emotional bond, or something that simply does not require a label is open to interpretation. In the absence of confirmation, the story remains unfinished. And perhaps it is precisely this openness that allows the relationship to continue resonating, not because it is explained, but because it is observed.